like yesterday when we did fractions, say we're going to do decimals, it's going to be very much review. Should not take us very long at all to do what we need to do. Changing fractions into decimals. What's the process? How do we do it? Mark. 2 on the outside, 1 on the inside will give us 0.5. Okay. Now, most of you probably already knew going in that half was going to equal 0.5. There are some cases in which we get a fraction that looks like this, and we set it up to divide it out to get the decimal. Does not go into 5, goes into 50, 8, into 23, into 23. Okay, it's going to repeat, so I would write it as my final answer as 0.83 with what? Bar just over the part that repeats. Okay, so again, that would be definitely review for us. Right now, put 3/8 into a decimal. Okay, so 8 goes into 30, we say 3 times. Goes into 87 and into 40. We should have gotten 0.375. Is that correct? Can you get an idea just by looking at the decimal to determine if it matches the fraction? Like, what can you tell me about the fraction 3/8? Good. It's less than half. So I should get something less than 0.5. Okay? And 0.375 fits the bill. Okay? Anything on regular fractions? What do you do if it's a, what if you have a fraction like this? What if you have 1 1/4? I want to change it to a decimal. Yeah. I could. Right. If I have this whole number 1, whatever it is as a decimal, that 1 is going to transfer over here anyway. What's 1/4 as a decimal? 2.5. So it's 1.25. Now you could, like Mark said, I could convert this to an improper fraction and then decide that, you know what, bottom number goes on the outside, and I could go through the process and still get 1.25. The whole numbers aren't going to change. The whole numbers themselves aren't going to change. Any questions on that concept? Now, there is one more thing that they'll ask you to do, and that'll be to change a repeating fraction, repeating decimal, into a fraction. So you're going to take this decimal, and they're going to have you put it back into fraction form, which ordinarily isn't really much of an issue, because how do we put decimals into fraction form? Who remembers? Like, if we were to give this its proper name, instead of saying 0.345, we would call it 345 what? Thousandths. So if I asked you to put 345 thousandths into a fraction, you'd easily be able to do so. What do you do if you don't remember all the names for the places? Well, how many places back did it go? 3. How many zeros do we use? 3. But we aren't done. If this were just a regular, 345 thousandths without the repeating bar on the top, then we'd be fine. However, it does. So quite simply, we take 1 away from it. 999. Right, just because it's a repeating. Take 1 away from the denominator. But we're not done, because we can simplify 345 and 999. What are they both divisible by? Yeah, 3. How do you know? Yep. 3 plus 4 plus 5 equals 12. 12 is divisible by 3. Right, 999 is going to be divisible by 3 as well. So 333, and is it 115? Okay. And there we go. Now you can check it. How? If you really wanted to, you could check it. Marlia? 115 divided by 333. If you wanted to go through all that work. But here's a more simple example for you. Let's take 0.7 repeated and put that into a fraction. 7/10 repeating. My initial fraction is going to be 7 over what place is it in? Tenths. But because it's repeating, it's not 7 over 10, it's going to be 7 over 9. And that's in simplest form. Now we can check this one pretty easily. Let's throw the 9 on the outside. Let's throw the 7 on the inside. 9 into 70, 7 times is 63. 63. Okay? So it does work. All right? Your biggest problem is going to be making sure that when you get to a fraction that looks like this, you don't just leave it as is, that you explore all your possibilities and make sure you simplify it as much as you can. Okay? What if it's negative? What if you have a negative 345 thousandths repeating? Then you're going to make this negative. Okay? Pretty much the same thing. So look at page 240 and look at numbers 1 through 28. Is there anything in that section, any of those sections, so there's like 3 different sections there, that you think would be problematic or you're not 100% sure about? Which one? Good. So 1 through 28. Good practice.